Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be doing the get to know my taste book tag. I saw this tag floating around recently and I just thought it would be fun to do. I thought this tag would be really great for any of you that are new to my channel and maybe don't exactly know what I like or don't like in books or what like my favorite genres are and stuff like that. But I also thought that this would be a great refresher to kind of remind you guys like what I like and don't like in books. I mean, I think every couple of years my opinions kind of change on things just as I get older and, you know, things change. My taste in books change. Like I used to absolutely hate cowboy romances and now I'm obsessed with them. So I do feel like you change over the years. So I thought this would be kind of a nice little refresher or a get to know me kind of vibe. I will tag the creators down below, but let's get into the questions. So question number 1, how do you rate books? Give a quick rundown of how you do your star ratings, or if you don't use star ratings, how do you evaluate books? So I basically use kind of the Goodreads system, to be quite honest. And I feel like my rating system is very basic. So a 1 star usually for me means I did not like anything about the book. I just wanted to finish it to get it done. 2 stars, it was fine, but there were more things I disliked about it than I liked. A 3-star read for me is it was okay. Nothing amazing, but I liked a decent amount of the book. 4 stars means I loved it. It is basically a favorite. There were just like a few things that I would change or that, you know, I didn't love, but overall it is like a favorite. And then a 5-star is amazing, show-stopping, a new fave, a flawless book. Sometimes I will give books half stars, and usually I give like a lot of 3.5 stars because I don't know, it's like I liked it, but it's not really a 4-star, but it's still like almost a 4-star, if that makes sense. But yeah, I tried to use basically like what Goodreads uses as well. I feel like it's a very easy way to rate books. Number 2, how do you approach reviewing books? What's your review style? Are you analytical, emotional, casual, or structured? I'm definitely a casual, emotional reviewer. I review books on how they make me feel emotionally for the most part. Obviously, I will talk about, you know, the characters, the plot, the writing, whether I really loved it or didn't. That is usually kind of, I rate and review things based more on like how they made me feel emotionally. I feel like sometimes I have a very bad memory, so I think it's just easier for me to review things emotionally for me to remember how I felt while I was reading that book. I would also say in general, I'm not very picky with books. I easily let things slide. Like I'm not super critical or harsh about books. It's like either I loved it or I didn't, and I kind of just move on. I also don't really consider myself a reviewer very much. Like obviously I review books in my wrap-ups, but that's kind of it. Like I don't do single sit-down review videos. And I mean, I guess in my reading vlogs, I will talk about the book more in depth, but for the most part, I don't really consider myself a reviewer. I just feel like I talk about books. Question number 3, what's the book that made you a reader? Whether it was your first favorite or the one that got you hooked, what book started it all? And for me, it was Twilight. Twilight is the book that I vividly remember reading and becoming obsessed with. I believe I was like 12 years old when I first read Twilight. It was obviously so long ago, but I feel like the memories on me reading this are quite fuzzy, but I do remember watching the movie and then immediately picking up the books and reading all of them. And at the time, this was like an amazing accomplishment for me to like be 12, 13 years old reading these massive books to me back then. 2010, I think, is like the year where I really started actually like avidly reading. So Twilight started it, but then I feel like I was kind of reading, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 books every once in a while in like 2009 maybe. And then 2010, I feel like, is where I really started to fully read. And 2012 is like when I was in the thick of it. That is when I joined Goodreads, and that was when I was just like literally reading all summer long. I think Twilight is the book that started it all. I don't really have any memories of like other books that kind of changed the game for me, if that makes sense. Number 4, do you have a genre niche? Are there certain genres you gravitate towards, or do you read widely across genres? Obviously, I am very much a romance reader. That is primarily what I read. And I like anything romance related. So whether it is contemporary or fantasy or sci-fi or historical romance, I enjoy all genres of romance. But I still do occasionally read young adult. I still like to dabble in that. Honestly, I do like to read YA contemporary, but I feel like mainly I like to read a lot of young adult fantasy and young adult paranormal. I think that's really fun. And then occasionally I do read stuff outside of romance, like The Secret History by Donna Tartt, which is a favorite of mine. I recently reread Vicious by V.E. Schwab and loved it again, and I read the sequel Vengeful finally. So occasionally I will read things that are not romance focused. I do think sometimes they're a great palate cleanser, but mainly I read romance. Number 5, do you generally prefer character-driven or plot-driven stories? I would say character-driven stories, I think, but an interesting plot has to kind of get me into it, if that makes sense. Like I have to be gripped by an interesting plot, and then I can stick around just for the characters. If the characters are boring and the plot is interesting, I probably won't like it as much. What's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? What's that one book you love enough for everyone? I have a couple of answers. Unfortunately, I couldn't just pick one. But I would say the Addicted series by Kristen Becker Ritchie. I love this entire series so much, and I don't care if people hate it. I don't care if you don't like it. I love this series very, very, very much. Same with Fallen Too Far by Abby Glines. I can understand why people would hate this, but I don't care. I think it's fun. I think it's over the top. It's addicting. I love this series very much. And I would also say The Dead Romantics. I really, really love this book, and I have heard some bad reviews that I do not agree with because I love this book so much. I really need to do a reread, but I love these books very much. Well, these series. I think my favorite in the Addicted series is honestly the last book, but yeah, I love these books very much. Number 7, what's a book you love so much that if someone doesn't like it, you know your tastes don't align? The book or books where a difference of opinion is a strong indicator of different reading preferences. This is actually interesting because I don't think I have an answer. I like to read all kinds of romances. I like to give books a try. Even if on paper it doesn't sound like something I would love or something, I still like to give it a try because I never know if I'm going to like it, if that makes sense. For example, I had read, I think it was Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I read Heartless, and I didn't really care for them. Like I was like, they're 3-star reads for me. I don't really understand the hype. I didn't get it. And then I decided to read Reckless, loved it. Like it was amazing to me. And so was Hopeless. I loved those 2 books. I think also because I'm not a super critical reader, I can see why people wouldn't love a book that I love. Like I could understand that. Honestly, I'm trying to look at my shelves and I don't know. I don't think I have an answer. I'm so sorry. Number 8, what's in your trash pocket? What books, tropes, or themes that you know are bad, but you love them anyway? Honestly, I don't think like any trope is bad. To be quite honest, I think you can like whatever you like. I'm not judgy at all. Personally, I do like monster romances, specifically like Ice Planet Barbarian series. Love that series. And I've read the spinoff of that series and also really liked it, the Ice Home series. I do like an accidental pregnancy surprise baby trope. I don't know why. It's kind of funny because I don't think I want kids, but I love reading about that in romance books for some reason. I also do occasionally like bully romances. It kind of depends. It has to be like done well and in a believable way. I also, of course, love a dark romance, mafia romance. Oh, I also obviously really love the After series, which is problematic, I guess. I know it is problematic, but I do really love this series, and I have read it 3 times already, I think. 3 or 4 times. I also would say I am a sucker for like a step sibling romance. So sorry, but I do like it. I think it's like the forbidden aspect that I really enjoy. But yeah, those are the ones that I feel like are always looked down upon, but those are like tropes that I really love. Number 9, do you have any deal breakers in books? Something that if present immediately turns you off from a book? I actually made a video, I think like 3 years ago, talking about my least favorite tropes. I will link that video down below. I also did make a video, I think like 6 years ago, about my favorite tropes, but I feel like I should probably do an updated version of that video. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, because I do think things that I like in books has changed over the last 5 years. But deal breakers for me in books are like why choose romances. Is it called why choose or reverse harem? I think it's now called why choose, but I personally do not like that in books. I will not pick up why choose romances. Also, this is very specific, but I don't enjoy dating apps in books. Like if there is a plot regarding dating apps, I don't enjoy it for some reason. Sometimes social media, if social media is like present in the book, I tend to not like it for some reason. Also, letter related romances, I don't enjoy. Number 10, what's a strong opinion you have about a book released within the last year? Whether it's overrated, underrated, or just a take you need to share. I don't have an answer for this question, to be quite honest. I, again, am not very opinionated when it comes to popular books. And I think it's because I just don't care. Like, I don't care if you hate a book. I don't care if you love a book. I don't care because your opinions don't affect how I feel about a book, if that makes sense. I guess like I don't really like Emily Henry. I have read, I think, 4 books by her at this point, and the only one I liked was her young adult book, which was A Million Junes. That's the only book of hers that I've enjoyed. I do like to give in to the hype and read the popular books, and sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. And at the end of the day, I don't really care. Like, I think I'd rather focus on trying to find a new favorite book than always feeling like I need to read everything that's popular and everything that's well loved. Maybe the Boys of Tommen series, I would say maybe isn't that great. I've only read the first 2 books and they were like 3-ish stars for me. I liked the characters, but like overall, I'm not going to continue the series. So maybe that's an opinion that I have. I do think it's overhyped. I don't know. I feel like at this point I want to read a lot of backlist titles because the books right now are not doing it. I don't know what is going on, but the new books are like all 3-star reads for me. Like nothing is good right now, which sucks. Number 11, what do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Is it prose style, themes, voice, structure, or something else? Honestly, I am very basic when it comes to writing. I don't need anything fancy. I am good with just a straightforward, basic writing. I think because I read a lot of romance, I don't need it to be fancy and flowery and super like descriptive or have like, you know, beautiful quotes and stuff like that. I don't need that in my romance novels. Sometimes it is nice, but I like a basic book. I don't really care that much about writing. It's not important to me when I'm reading a story. I need to care more about the characters and the plot over the writing. Because I've read some really bad written books, but I loved the characters and I loved the romance. And that made me love the book, not the writing. Number 12, how do you decide what to read next? Do you plan ahead, mood read, or follow external factors like hype, recommendations, or arcs? I do like to plan ahead, but I am 110% a mood reader. I do like to have kind of like a seasonal TBR, but for the most part, I will pick up a book based on my mood. Sometimes I will pick up books on recommendations or on hype, but I try to just read things when I'm in the mood to read them, because sometimes I feel like I can read a book and I wasn't in the mood for it, and so that affected how I felt about the book. So I like to just follow my gut and read what I want to read. I don't really read ARCs. I don't request them. I personally don't like having a deadline to read something. I feel like that takes the hobby out of it for me. So I typically don't read ARCs. I am just a mood reader. Number 13, where do you get inspiration for your booktube content? What sparks your video ideas, other creators, trends, personal reading experiences? I obviously do get ideas from other booktubers. You know, sometimes if they'll do, you know, a recommendation video, it'll kind of remind me to do one. Or if they're reading like a certain genre or certain trope or like a themed reading vlog, sometimes I will get ideas from that. But regarding my content, I usually like to film things when I'm in the mood, much like my reading. I like to create content when I'm in the mood to create it. When I'm not in the mood to create a certain video, I just know it won't be a great video or I won't like the outcome of it. I have to be, you know, in the mood to film that. I really do enjoy filming themed reading vlogs, like whether it's a trope or like, you know, reading paranormal romances or reading cowboy romances or reading summer related romances. I like doing those type of reading vlogs, but I also really like doing like my cozy, chill kind of vlogs where I'm just, you know, reading and journaling and cleaning my house and just kind of doing the basic like everyday stuff. I like filming those type of vlogs. I don't film a lot of sit down content anymore, which I used to back in the day. I would always film a bunch of sit down related videos. I have been on BookTube for 9 years. It'll be 9 years at the end of August, and I have created over 800 videos. So I have a lot of content on my channel, and I feel like over the years, I just kind of not lost, but I feel like I just kind of ran out of ideas, and I don't read as much as I used to. Like back in the day, I used to read over 100 books a year. The last couple of years, I have barely reached like 60 to 100, like in that mark. So it was way easier for me back in the day to do a lot of recommendation videos and stuff. But now, because I'm not reading as much, I feel like I don't have much to recommend, especially because a lot of the books that I have been reading are very 3-star reads for me. So I feel like recommendation videos are just not something I can do very much anymore. Obviously, I love reading and that is, you know, my main hobby, but I also really like to watch TV shows and movies, and I also love to discuss that. I love to discuss adaptation news and read and watch adaptations. I do a lot of Passionflix related videos, which is a platform that adapts romance novels. And I still love doing, you know, the traditional book hauls and wrap-up videos and TBR videos, even though I do them like seasonally. I still love doing those traditional booktube videos, but I do love kind of doing more like chill vlogs. Number 14, if you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? A book you think deserves more attention and why? I think you guys might know my answer to this. A Monster in His Eyes by J.M. Darhauer. I actually have a reading vlog dedicated to me rereading this trilogy. I will link that video down below. I love that video so much. This is a dark mafia-esque romance. This basically follows Carissa, who is a college student, and during one of her classes she forgets her phone in the classroom, so she goes to go and get it, and she overhears a very interesting conversation between her professor and this mysterious guy. And suddenly this mysterious guy, Ignacio, is very interested in Carissa, and it is a very, very interesting dark romance. I love the characters. I love the romance. I love the plot. It is very much mystery driven, which is so interesting and something that I love in mafia romances or stories like this. It also has an age gap that is questionable, but I personally really enjoyed it. Like, Carissa is 18 or 19, and Ignacio is in his 30s, but I love this trilogy so much. The first book is in Chris's point of view, the second book is in Ignacio's point of view, and then the third book is in both of their POVs, which I think is so interesting. J.M. Darhauer has a very popular book, which is Ghosted. I know a lot of people really enjoy that book, but this book, this trilogy is so good, and I will always recommend it. It is my favorite mafia dark romance ever. I have like a million tabs because I love this book so much. And honestly, the reason why I want this book to go viral is so we can get new covers. Like, I really need new covers. I wish the author would do like some sort of new revamp cover, because I mean, I don't like hate these covers, but like, that is not Ignacio to me. That is not Naz to me. So I really would love new covers, but I love this trilogy so much, and I highly recommend it if you like dark romance. And the last question, number 15, who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? I'm going to be very honest. I don't watch a lot of booktube. I watch a couple of creators, and honestly, they don't have similar taste to me whatsoever. And I think that is what I find so appealing, is I like to watch people that I don't necessarily like read the same things as them. If you guys have any recommendation of booktubers who you think has similar taste to me, please let me know. Or even just recommend your favorite booktuber down below. I definitely could use some new booktubers to watch. That is it for this tag. I hope you got to know my reading taste a little bit better. Let me know if you guys are interested in me making an updated video about my favorite tropes and favorite like subgenres or genres. I think I probably will do that video sometime this summer. Also, a couple of years ago, I made some videos where I literally went through each romance subgenre and I listed off all of my favorites. I have like my favorite sci-fi, my favorite fantasy romances, my favorite contemporary romances. I think I even talked about like my favorite erotica romances. I will leave those videos down below if you want to know like my favorites. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.